So yeah, I do like the way it's got a drop on the ghost train, and as you're actually approaching the drop, because you're quite open, there's no restraints on it, so you're quite open throughout, and obviously as you're going down the drop, you are quite open, so as you're approaching the drop it's quite intense, because you're quite open on there. And I do like the ones with the little drop sections in. It's quite a long layout, because obviously you go through the lift hill first, and then you've got the little drop, and then you kind of go downhill with these little twists through another UV section, which there's actually quite a bit of theming in there. There's even a little animatronic at the end as well. And you got the frog bounce, which was pretty fun. It was running a pretty good cycle on there. Space is just on its cycle right now. So yeah, it's quite a good cycle for the last few seconds, but kind of for a lot of it was quite tame. It was just one bounce and then a few seconds, then another little drop and then a few seconds, and there was that bit where you kind of get quite a few drops in a row, but definitely the most intense part was those last few seconds, where you do get some good force at the bottom, and because it goes quite fast you get some good lateral as well as the sort of vertical force at the bottom. Then you got the twister, that was running a good decent cycle as well, which was quite a bit of lateral, I'd say, on there. So that was a pretty good as well. I definitely think the best. Well, my favourite ride of this trip is probably the new ride, which does have so much force, because I've never done anything like that before. That's probably my favourite ride, but I think my favourite ride of this Funfair is probably still Space, because I think the force, not that there's so much force on the new ride that it's unbearable, but because you're just constantly getting all that force, I think Space is probably my favourite ride, because I do like a gyro swing, and you just get some force as you go through and then some hang time as you go over the top. I do like the constant force, but I think Space is still probably my favourite ride here. But yeah, absolutely fantastic, and checking out the new flat ride, absolutely amazing trip here. And there's a good variety of rides here as well. Obviously I did get some POVs from every ride. It's always great to get back to a Funfair, and I think all the rides are really long cycles and quite intense for all of them. Like, you've actually got the Super Bub that I didn't mention, and that was fun. Obviously it goes backwards as well, which is really good on that. Backwards cycle and a forwards. I think the backwards cycle was more intense. I don't know if it was faster or just kind of you just get more force when you go backwards. It did feel like it was faster because I got some really good ejector air time. You like proper came out of my seat, because see on there the lap bars are quite loose, so you just get some great sort of ejector air time as you're going backwards on there, which is fantastic, as you're going over the sort of little bunny hops at the side. But I do enjoy those, and also obviously that's another ride they've got here as well, which is also running quite a long cycle, obviously with it going forwards and backwards. Backwards cycle felt more intense because of the ejector, and it's another ride to add to the lineup here, because I mean, they had a fantastic lineup, but didn't mention it before, so I thought I'd mention the Super Bob as well, which was running fantastic with a backwards cycle. But yeah, definitely I think the new ride's the most intense ride here, definitely, because it was running quite a long cycle with obviously the two different ones where it's flat going sort of vertical banking, because they sort of swing out. You do get a bit of a swing on there as well, and then you've kind of got the G-force, but because it's so disorientating, you just have to brace for everything. I just found myself just bracing for every element. That was probably the best way. Just look at the one in front as you keep going over, but you don't even like really know when you're going upside down when you're inverting on there. You just kind of have to brace it because there's such a constant force. But it's been fantastic here. I think that's my highlight, but I'd still probably say my favourite ride's Space because it's more enjoyable. There's less constant force as you're going round. But then again, and that's probably my second favourite and the highlight of this trip because I've never been on anything like that before, and I absolutely loved it. And it's another new flat ride as well, so yeah, a really good visit down here to do a great intense offering of rides.